Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe podcast.
Sorry, just I'm talking to Lulu Pikun downstairs over there. It's not downstairs, but it's on the floor. There is no downstairs here. We are downstairs, up the stairs, downstairs in the middle of the stairs. And he was making noise with his collar. He has a couple of what do you call it, tag on him. So if just I thought he was walking actually back and forth behind me, which wasn't the case. He was just he's laying down on the side where I'm sitting, and it's just like, what? Okay, so welcome to Emma's Universe podcast. Oh my goodness, what an intensive week this week in regards of the topics that the universe wanted me to talk about. The biggest one is integrity, and the other one was social media, because social media is still gonna be a pain for people to understand. What are you posting on social media? I have a TikTok account. I do my words of the day there. I do my words of the day on Insta. Little less present on Insta. I am on Facebook, and talking about social media. What do we put, and how many companies are observing what's going on? We still have the freedom of speech. Yes, we do. Even if some company thinks they can lay you off because you made one comment about one person, not even in a negative way, but this is what it is. But we still have to be mindful of what we're putting on social media. I just saw something, and I know it becomes very interesting that people are using social media to go after other people. Well, it's always interesting at some level. However, forgiveness, and I'm releasing actually one for forgiveness meditation. I will be, by the time you're listening to this one, it would be, yeah, it will be a release on my YouTube channel. But I'm gonna go back and talk a little bit about forgiveness, which was a big topic in my household with the little one, aka one of my sisters, that holded so much grudges about everything, about people, that she was living basically with a ghost. And I saw something on social media because the passing of Shannon Doherty. When she was on Charmed, she unfortunately got fired because of one of her co-star lies or whatever thing she did or said, which cost her that beautiful part. And I think when she left the show changed direction, and we had another actress stepping up with a different role associated with the Charmed. But her not getting along with her, and after what she did, well, it was over 20 years ago. However, upon learning her passing, what is going on, guys? Are we gonna get disturbance here? Because I'm recording right now, so I would like you, Daddy, to stop. That would be beautiful and wonderful, because I'm recording right now. So please, thank you. Good night. Sorry, that would be my girl making a little fuss with Lulu. I have no idea why. Don't ask me. It's one of those days. So back to the situation. So it was 20 years ago. It was worked through at some level. I'm sure they reconnected with the two of them. Well, when the passing of Shannon happened on the 13th of July, what's her name again? I forgot her name. That's lovely. Alyssa Milano was the first one actually to to express her condolences, but also acknowledge the fact that yes, there were a lot of situation between the two of them, but she expressed her condolences. However, it looks like a lot of people got angry at that situation. I still have resentment. Maybe I would have if I did not find my peace of mind. Who knows? But to me, it's like, I believe Shannon did what she had to do, and I think they reconnected later on or had a conversation many years afterwards. Things happen for a reason. And it's difficult sometimes to find the peace, but I feel that at some level we need to just acknowledge the fact that somebody who caused harms to somebody else's career, which happened every day, in the long run must have, you know, been a blessing in disguise for the person who was left in the dust. Also, acknowledging the fact that when she said that, she acknowledged the fact that they were not best of friends and there were a situation that was created it. And I feel that when somebody passed away and you create something bad, you do something that really will bring you karma back in your face, not dharma but karma in your face. I think she paid the price as well. Everybody pays a price on what you do. But yes, life happened for a reason, but I don't feel we should be, and again, this is my personal view on that, jumping on somebody else's train and trash them every time they want to express something. It felt to me when I was reading what she wrote and posted on social media that it was a heartfelt about her passing, regardless of the situation between both of them. It was a heartfelt sorrow. She probably not gonna be crying and for 10 years on that, but she acknowledged that. So for me, it felt like, okay, should we go after everybody in any way, case of places or whatever, or should we stop this hootenanny because it's a bit out of control? And it takes proportion because a lot of people don't understand. It was over 20 years ago. Yes, a lot of things happened in between. And Shannon's career continued and she did great things as well. Yes, I would have loved her to continue Charmed for sure because I love that show. But it did not happen. It was very disappointing. And for me, it was missing after she left. I felt it was missing something. But if we're looking at letting go and forgiveness, we have to learn to let it go. It's like bringing the poison and distilling it in everybody, bringing that anger again that is not necessary. Forgiveness is one of the biggest things we have to learn to do, and sometimes it takes time. I must be honest with you, it takes time because some people have done very nasty things or crass things to others that takes time to let it go. And it's not forgiveness to we're gonna erase this, it never happened, we're gonna be sharing a meal and pretending we love each other. It's regaining our powers, making sure that our powers are back, and not every time you have that feeling of anger, resentment, and it can be a coworker, it can be somebody from your family, your own family, it can be anyone. You're giving them the power, meaning you let them coming into your head, removing the peace you've got. And this is a dangerous game because while they go about their lives and they don't care about anything else than their own life, you are still thinking about them, reminiscing, and giving them the power to distract you to what you're supposed to be doing. Is it worth it? Not really. Forgiveness is getting back all of our powers. Every scattered pieces we got in this universe, getting it right back to us when we're making peace. I may be at a level where I have regained all of my peace of mind and learn to ground myself, learn to acknowledge when I am triggered. Because a lot of people don't realize when they get triggered, I do. And able to stop it in order to do not continue. And to me, it's a bit disturbing when I see this on social media where people putting things out there where we don't know what happened afterwards between both of them. And knowing what Shannon has done for the past 10 years when her cancer began and her journey started till today, she has done a lot of things, reconnecting with past people and kind of saddled the balance, resetting the equilibrium. Equilibrium? Yeah, I said it. I don't think I said it the first time right. But resetting the balance. So we don't know. So should we go up in arm and scream and yell or not? No, we should not, obviously, because something happened between the two of them that I believe she made peace with everything that was happening in her life and the people who have done wrong to her. If you recall her ex-husband, the latest one, she signed the divorce paper the day before her passing. So there is a reason she made peace with that situation as well. So things, all of her affairs were in order when she passed away. That's mean that what happened previously with other did the same thing. So what are we not able to realize this and maybe start to mind our own business as well? I love Shannon Doherty. I think she was a phenomenal actress, somebody who was extremely strong, and again got put a label of a difficult actress, which in fact I don't remember who on YouTube, because I was watching him, I forgot his name, was surprised when he put these things together about Shannon, realized that she was not that person. And I'm like, yeah, because it was done to harm her career, that somebody spreaded a lie and that lie took life on its own. But the difference is sometimes don't listen to the rumors. See the people for your own self. Make your own assessment, not based on what you heard, but what you see. Watch the action, not only the talk, but the walk. If you talk the talk and walk the walk, that's fine. I have in the past been told I have high, which is true actually, high standard. Yes, I do have high standard. When I deliver things, I expect to be high standard. When a project happen, I'm going to deliver it as a high standard project. If I'm cooking for myself or for somebody else's, or if I'm inviting people, it's going to be high level cooking. Not I'm going to put something in a, well, that probably did happen, but in a microwave and just slap it or take stuff that like 2 or 3 days old and reheat it and say, okay, eat it. Which I could do actually. The leftovers, I like to cook the leftovers because I can make great transformation on that. But still, so I'm looking at this, I'm looking at social media, and I'm like, we should stop that hatred things, because it's easy to spew venom. We always said it's easy to stay in lower energy levels like that, and raising our energy higher takes more work because it's really pushing up to the next level. Do we really need to go after everybody every 5 minutes? No. Do we need to cancel everybody? No. We need to stop those crazy trends. And I said this is very interesting. For the past couple weeks, the energy has been extremely strange, weird, and I'm looking at everything else and I'm like, well, when is it going to settle? Because this is not Mercury retrograde. Mercury, it's on August 4th, and we are I'm recording on the 18th of July. So I'm like, yeah, no. Okay? This is not happening. But we need to be really focused on what we're supposed to be doing and what are our intentions. Do we want to create more harms or not? Yes, we can get hurt. Yes, it's not pleasant to have somebody backstab you, for something at work or at home, yes. Being betrayed, yes. But forgiveness doesn't mean we're gonna, like Jesus, you could slap Jesus on one side of the face and he will turn the other cheek. I'm like, no, that's not happening here. But learning to forgive, not forget, because people assume I want to forgive. No, 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 no. I'm not forgetting the situation. I have learned from it, so I'm not going to repeat it. However, I'm going to cut the ties that bound us in order for me to do not give power, my energy to a situation that happened. I talked about how to recognize a groupie, and I had to deal with somebody who's a groupie and out of control, which it's pretty scary actually when you think about it. And I'm like, holy crap. And that wasn't a groupie towards me, that was towards somebody else's. But it's very disturbing when you got people like that and you have to deal with people like that, and they will do anything to take you out, meaning talk to you in a very constant. Oh, I'm not going to be able to say the word again. Condescending manners. Here we go, Emma. Will not give you information. That happened to me. I was at work and I had somebody who didn't want it to be helped. So what she did, she withheld information from me to deliver a project I looked like a ridiculous idiot. And I got mad for a minute and I realized this person is afraid of her job. I don't want your job. I'm here to support you and help you. If you don't want my help, then don't ask and I'm fine and I will not do that work at all. But it takes time, and to be honest with you, it's very tiring to deal with people where you feel you always have to be walking on eggs, shell. I'm like, seriously, I do not want to tiptoe anymore. I don't want to tiptoe. I don't want to, oh my God, if I say something wrong, I'm like, no, 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 no. You got your problem. It's your monkey, your circus. But I'm not going to be approaching you. I'm going to stay away from you. And I have done that for that groupie. I am staying away from this individual. And I'm not indulging myself into what can I do to irritate that person. I am not, no, I could do it actually, but I'm not, because I'm not that interested to do it. It's very disturbing when you deal with people like that where they play victim, because they're very good, because they're kind of coverted narcissist at some level. They are very good at play the victim. Like all of a sudden they're becoming from the person who will hunt you down to, oh my God, I did something, and they will do it on the front of the person they really like, they admire, and they will make sure they play the victim, which is totally twisted. But this is the kind of situation, it's not that interesting. It's like, okay, you need to grow up, you're a fan, you're a groupie, a fan, go over there, praise, walk, roll the red carpet, think they walk on water, fine, do your own business, but do not approach me. So looking at what I see online is disturbing at some level, because this should not be happening. It's happening, but people don't realize what they're doing, because some are very passionate and full of anger, but they're not in the situation, they know or don't know what happened. Meaning, did they witness, if they were in a reconciliation or talk of some kind? I'm not going to say, I was ready to say reconciliation, but it could be just a talk to clear out the air. Were they there? No. It's based on 20 years ago what happened. It's based on the situation. Things evolve and change. Again, we don't have to be best friend to be talking. We don't have to talk if it's necessary. But when situation happen, we should not be under the assumption that we should be spewing venom. Again, it's easier to stay in the lower energies than raising our energies higher. The bottom feeder will be the bottom feeder, but do we want to be in that vicious circle where it's not even positive at all, it's negative and it's full of hatred? And I'm like, I don't have time for that crap. But it's worrisome when we're dealing with social media, because social media is access to everybody. And I talked about integrity, what kind of integrity we're living in right now. There is not much integrity on what we're seeing, which is from social media to um, major media outlet out there where they are talking and not even telling the truth. This is concerning. So there is, social media. Somebody said, do you think that if we did not have social media, it would be a good thing? I would say yes, at some level, yes, because it will avoid this kind of crapola situation where you don't even know what's true and not, what to believe. People want, what I have people many years ago say, well, if it's there, if it's on the net or whatever, it's true. I'm like, no, there's a lot of lies on on the internet. If you do research, you will realize that. But a lot of people don't. So we can be taken by what we see, but is it the truth? And for me, based on that simple situation with Shannon Doherty, I truly believe she talked to everybody she needed to talk to, reassess everything she had, close chapters on situation that happened to her with people that were unpleasant, and she made peace with all of it. Was it fair what happened to her? No, but life is not here to be fair. Life is here to teach us something, and sometimes we have to change course because we're destined to something else. I talked, well, I did talk publicly about the fire in my house and what happened last year, which 2023 was to be honest with you, a shit show, literally. And it was the dark night of the soul and not the good version of it, the worst of the worst. But in order to move, the universe will do things into the extreme. Okay, you can lose your job all of a sudden, and it's like, what the freak? You can, like I did, burn my house, got destroyed by water. It wasn't even the fire; it was the water from the firefighters. So, the thousands and thousands of gallons of water for like 7 hours straight, and I witnessed that. So it's you're looking at the life like if let's say there is a dam that breaks and you got a flooding, anything that can happen that will make your life change, and you got this to happen first. Then you got human beings. Remember free wills and insecurity and ego, and people will do weird stuff. Like I explained that crazy groupie fan that I've been dealing with, dealt with, because I'm done with that shit show. Sorry, I said again the word shit show again. Yay. That, and that was, the other one was over 2 decades ago. That individual who was a nice person, but was totally insecure and gave me only few information, but not all. So I looks like an idiot when I deliver the project and incompetent. That again was done by somebody who had insecurity. So you cannot control what happened to you at all time because you got the outer condition that will impact who we are. But we have to look at, when we're in the middle of things, we have to use our judgment and a common sense. And wisdom come along as you're aging, hopefully. It does happen for some people. Some people thinks they have the wisdom when they are young, and it's you watch. Oh yeah, there was a girl, a lady. I shook my head. I'm like, oh, girl, you're like 16, 17 years old. You think you know it all? Yeah, wait, because the universe gonna give you a run for your money on this one. Wisdom come with experience. We think we can have wisdom, but trust me, the universe will teach you the lesson you need to learn. Then you get that wisdom. But it comes to a point where you need to step back and look at the situation and think, this person or myself, take example of yourself, how would you react in situation where you could be triggered? Are you going to go for it, or are you going to bring the awareness of that person is triggering me right now? So why don't I take a deep breath and figure it out why? Why is that person triggering me? Why why is this happening? Is it because you feel the insecurity of that person that will try, and I have happened to me many times in corporate world as a consulting person and as a permanent person, it never changed, that some individuals feel they are not up to par in their job. There is people you're going to meet in your life, they are 10 times smarter than you, and there is people who are not that smart at all. So understanding that people who are smarter than us, acknowledge the fact that you're good with that, because you're going to learn from them instead than seeing them as the enemy. Most people have the reflex to say, oh my God, I'm going to throw them under the bus one way or the other because they're going to take my job. No, they're not going to take your job, but they are there to teach you something they have learned. I have learned so many skill sets through people because I work with them. I try to get and to work with the best of the best in their business in each companies I work with. And I learned a ton of things. And we all should be embracing this, but a lot of people are afraid of. So, where are you sitting in that spectrum will be the question of the day. It's very interesting. As I said, this week has been a very interesting week that I had to put it into the podcast. Maybe a little controversial for some people or not, but think about where we're sitting right here, right now. Where is your integrity? Do you rely on the news? Do you rely on social media? And to which extent? Okay? The other thing is social media. When you're mad, do you use social media in a rant or not? I like not to rant. I leave it alone because, again, if you're looking for a job, that could cost you your next job. If you rant about a previous business, because you have to realize, and people think they have a sense of entitlement. Some people have a sense of, I am deserving this because I have a diploma, because I have this, I have that. But what is your behavior, overall behavior? It doesn't matter what kind of diploma you've got at the end of the day. What is your behavior? If your behavior is something stable, yeah, great, no problem. But if you're into the extreme, well, not a lot of company want to deal with that. Not everybody within that company is going to appreciate to have somebody who's extreme. Why should we walk on eggshell? Good Lord, when I work at the Club Med, here's another nugget. Club Med. Good days. That were the good days. I got the picture to prove it, and I'm not going to show you the pictures. But the last village I did, actually, and he was a narcissist to the extreme. That guy, he was nuts. And you could see it in his face. And the guy was an extreme. He was an extreme nutcase. He terrorized his wife. He terrorized everybody that were working there. You never know which mood they were, both of them. One was running the village, and the other one was running sports. They were horrible, literally horrible. And I had to work with the sport because I was in sports. But it was the worst of the worst, and I've seen. And this is not a very pleasant work environment when you never knew in which mood the guy was showed up. There is days he was okay. There is days he was like, holy crap. And he put the wrath of the universe in your face. This is not the kind of environment you want to work with people who are unstable this way. If something triggers you, well, you need to figure it out how to work all of those triggers. But when you do things that are made public in social media of some form, why should you feel entitled? Then you should get the job and complain online afterwards you didn't get the job. Well, look at how you're behaving. That's the problem. Do we want people who are unable to behave properly and are out of control and can go off every 5 minutes? Probably not. But that's not a pleasant environment. That brings more stress to everybody. So, yes, there is days we don't, we're not all zen every 5 minutes. I'm not. But we have to be able to fluctuate with our mood and control that. I always said when I'm in a bad mood, I always let know people. I say, I'm not in a good mood today, so I would rather be by myself. Okay, need to let it pass here. That would be great. So people knew. Don't bother me. I will deal with them if they needed something. But they knew that if I'm not in a good mood, you're not going to come and bother me every 5 minutes for nothing. That's the deal. But you have to be cautious on putting things on social media. Seriously, because again, being entitled or feeling entitled, you can get a next job. No, you have to understand a company don't want to deal with this kind of situation. And it can be $1 billion company to a small company. Even a small company could cause more damages than a bigger one. So understand that what you put out there will always impact you. And the reason why is if you say something because you're mad at somebody and put it right there out there on social media, yeah, that's gonna get you out of the door very quickly, for sure. But that to me is something that we need to be cautious. That's, live with the consequences of your actions, and what is on social media is part of that as well. I don't know. The old days when we didn't have that, we're just fine. We just vent it out for 5 minutes and we'll be done. There was no need to put it on any social media of some kind. We were fine. You go into the country, scream for 5 minutes by the cows, and you would have been just fine. But look at what you're doing and your sense of that entitlement. No, you're not entitled to a job. You're not entitled to a specific job for a specific company and feel that it is expected. That is something as well. That's an ego talking. So, okay, well, I think we're done for the week. It's like, I don't know. Do not ask me why. This is one of those weeks. Take it with a grain of salt. Take things in and out of it. Get inspired or not, who knows? But this is what it is. All my love, guys. I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week. Hopefully everything will start to wind down. Who knows? So more to come. All my love, and we'll talk to you later. Bye now.
Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Emma's Universe Podcast.